Welcome back. Quick video on something. A video I just watched of the rear hypophysis. Ken Wheeler's videos. Specialises in magnetism. Knows almost everything about magnetism. I'd like to say he knew everything, but I've caught him out, so I can't say he knows everything. So I'm just doing a video on what he just said here, what he's shown you, and he's got it all wrong. I mean, he's a brilliant guy. I'm not putting him down at all. I love watching him. But I've caught him out, and he just doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to what I'm about to explain. It's thanks to him though, and Santos Benassi, I came to figure out the whole flat earth design. Yeah, flat earth, don't laugh. Earth is flat, and these guys prove it. I prove it. They don't. He's not a flat earther. He doesn't believe Earth's flat. He's got no idea. He's got no idea what he's been showing us. Santos knows it's flat, but I've taken what they've shown me, and what the ancient Egyptians have left us, and it's written right through Christianity. The whole design of Earth, and I've put it all together, and this is why I make my videos, to show people, to explain how Earth works. So, anyway, back to this video here. He's got this large neodymium iron boron magnet, big 6-inch magnet, about 2 inches thick, and he's got a gyro, and the video is about him spinning this gyro and trying to explain why it keeps spinning when he puts it in the centre here. But when he brings it out here, it starts breaking and stops. So he's always calling the centre point of his ring magnets, or any magnet, circular magnet. This one's not a ring magnet, but he always calls the centre point centrifugal convergence. I know it as centripetal divergence. I'm going to show you why. So what he doesn't know, and even Santos didn't know, I don't know if he knows yet, all ring magnets act just like the Earth, or Earth acts just like a ring magnet. It has the centre point, the Arctic Circle, and it has an equator halfway between there and there. But what Earth has, obviously not a magnet, is a tropical zone called the tropics. Out here, Capricorn, and in here, Cancer. And in the tropics, what do we have? Dense, moist air. What would be the opposite to that? As a duality, because everything in our existence is a duality. Everything. You name anything, it'll break down to two parts. The opposite to that would be dry, thin air. Dry, thin air, dry, thin air. Arctic and Antarctic, dry, thin air. Here, we have moist, thick humidity, a lot of moisture. Earth's magnetic field leaves the centre as a divergence, not a convergence, leaves as a divergence. I'll draw it a bit bigger. It leaves Earth diverging. There's the equator. Tropics both sides. The magnetic field leaves centre Earth, goes down north side, Cancer, tropics, through the Earth, up Arctic, over, back down, Capricorn tropics, through the Earth, up there as divergence. So it's coming down here as convergence. it converges at the equator. Same thing here from the centre. This is a donut, remember? Imagine Earth's a donut. This isn't a donut, he's got a solid ring magnet. But it works the same way. Divergence, divergence, convergence, divergence, divergent, divergence. Recently I've come to realise through primer fields, he calls them prima fields, there must be the choke point here with the sun, so there must be a convergence here to the sun, then the divergence, because we have negative through the earth, negative must come up to the sun, then leave the sun positive. Along the earth is all negative. Like AC current, positive, negative, positive. AC induction. So, I won't go into how he's explaining it. There's a lot of big fancy words about why the gyro is spinning here and not here. But he's got it all wrong. He doesn't realise this fact of this point here. Nobody does. I don't know why nobody does. Why do I only know it? I haven't found anyone else talking about it. That point on a ring magnet. I know why. Because science isn't that bright. They think they live in a spinning ball, so they can't be very bright. Because this is positive here, there's a strong magnetic field. They've missed the point where it comes down here. Down here. Probably hard to detect because the field is strong up here, you probably won't get that slight variance where it dips down here. They're both the same here. They don't meet. They're the same polarity, aren't they? That's the word. They're not opposing. So they're coming so far, they're not touching, but then they just shoot straight down the tropic region. Something's drawn them to this point. I'm not sure why, but they diverge, shoot off opposite directions once they hit negative. And in induction motors, they know that. They know that they'll go positive, then shoot off in the opposite direction when they go negative. This is basically what's happening in here. So what is happening is we're getting the northern rotation spinning out like this. This is the Polaris rotation. It spins out like this. It's 11-degree arcs, apparently, magnetic fields, and shoots off everything west. All our celestial bodies move west. The southern field comes out 11-degree arc and spins west as well. They don't meet, there's a gap. So this field out here is going this way, right? In this diagram it looks like it's going anti-clockwise, but up in the sky it's clockwise. And here, this way it's going clockwise, isn't it? But in reality up in the sky that's anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise in the north, clockwise in the south. But they're opposing. There's a big force goes right out to the equator region. You go that way, and that's the opposite direction. He's failed to realise that along with everybody else on this earth except me. They're opposing forces. This is why his gyroscope is spinning, continues to spin this way, because he's spinning it the same way, testing it there as he puts it out here. As soon as he brings it out here, he's fighting this opposing force. That's what's going to break his gyro and slow it down. He doesn't realise that. Go and watch it. He'll tell you all this other stuff, but he's got it all wrong. Just bear in mind, this is centripetal divergence. There's the black hole there. Every magnet has a black hole, basically. And it's made visible because of the density of the divergence, because as it comes to the center, everything denses up more. It's all the convergence in there, or the convergence and divergence, actually, because you've got convergence coming up underneath, divergence coming out. But it's all highlighted by the flux in that central point. Out here, I mean, it's quite dense in here. It's just like a daisy flower. You get all that yellow, dense as anything in there. Then you have the white petals out here. They're more spread out, aren't they? So this is how it all works. He's got it all wrong. Science has everything wrong. Once you understand all this, you realise how stupid they are. How can you think you live on a ball, sideways hanging off a ball that's supposed to be spinning, oceans just stuck to it because someone made up a word called gravity? If you've watched the videos on primer fields, spelt primer, because of primer fields, you understand magnetism. Everything's related to magnetic fields. Magnetic fields. And everything is based on a flat earth, like this, and the field above us. The sky rotates like this over Polaris. It's flat to the equator, curves down here. That reflection there is reflected here. That's why they're opposites, the mirror image. But all this is all coming from the centre here. Reflected up and shot out, but what's in here is reflected out here as an overlay. See, at the centre of here, you've got your big vortex, but you've got this downward counter force. There's the Milky Way all the way around there, with the sun and the planets in here. So that is an overlay. It's an overlay. You've got the background stars in the magnetic field. Science knows all about the background stars in cosmology. Then you have the inner field here of the Milky Way stars and the planets. So it's a mirror image. Everything's reflected, blown out, reflected out. We see the mirror image. So you're going to see that mirrored out. You're going to see background stars behind. You'll see the Milky Way and the planets in front. That's just how it works. Everything boils back to a singularity, a point of origin, a beginning of time, is all back in here. It could be the size of an apple. Right in the centre of there. We do not see it. That's why we do not see it. That's why it's written. Man will not accept this godly power, for it is not earthly. Basically, they will not accept that godly power because they can't see it. But physics understands this whole system, but they can't figure out how and where it is and all that. But that's it. So you can check it out. I thought it was a bit of a laugh. I messaged him and I said, be careful a wager, $10,000 wager, before you go and find out I'm bang on. So we'll see what he says. Anyway, yeah, catch you later, eh?